Hello, everybody, and welcome to the live Matthew and Carlene channel. So happy we're live now. Today, we are using my red pill moment to factually prove that the feminist movement is, in fact, just a male hate movement, no different than every other hate movement in past history. Now, we normally don't do this type of thing. However, a lot of you have been requesting for better value on some of my older videos. So we're going to try to provide you with that, with the one that's been getting a lot of attention lately. So let's get into it, shall we?
Is this from work for you?
Wasn't able to go to work today. I had to call off for personally. Because everything happened, I wasn't able to concentrate.
Thank you for working hard at your job. It's a really cool way to participate in the community around you. And we get to do that. I'm sorry that today was not a day for that.
Yeah.
I'm glad that those kind of things exist for that reason.
Okay, sorry about that, guys. Had to enhance the volume a little bit. But, and also apologize for interrupting so quickly. But I wanted to point out to all of you guys that what I do for a living is not what they were trying to downplay it to be. I am a sterile processing technician. In case you guys don't know what that is, it is literally the very heart of the hospital. It literally is. There is no such thing as safe surgery without a fully functional sterile processing team. Hospitals cannot accept insurance money of any kind without a sterile processing technician team, a fully functional one. And during the COVID pandemic, sterile processing technicians like myself were your primary defense during the COVID pandemic. Now, the Sims that are in this video, they know this. I did not keep this a secret from anybody because I am very proud for what I do for a living. I am. Regardless, this is pretty much recorded evidence of what's very historically common with a lot of hate movements, which is you put promoting hatred of a certain group of people, in this case men, ahead of human life. So, to the feminists who might be watching this, I just want to ask this. Now that we have a recorded video of feminists actively trying to interfere with the heart of a hospital for the sole purpose of trying to feel comfortable, how many bedridden patients have to die just so you can feel comfortable? Because this is recorded evidence of feminists and their Sims doing or attempting exactly that for that exact reason. It literally is.
So you've sent some text messages to us and just kind of expressed confusion and frustration, and I want to start off by just saying I'm really sorry that this has been a difficult moment, and that my goal or my desire in coming up to you in the lobby environment on Sunday was not to cause any version of a stressor, but it was to simply initiate a conversation, the same way that I do with a ton of people in our community, including with John, which I've done with him before, which he is always invited to do with me, where we can talk about what we're seeing and opportunities to grow in community. And so I'm sorry that it's been hard, and I'm sorry that today required a personal day. That totally makes sense. why you will. Um, and so I'd love to chat with you. My goal, I don't want to lecture you. I'm not trying to make you feel bad. I was sick to my stomach all day thinking about coming and chatting right now because these conversations are not uh, like knowing that there's frustration for you and hurt and all that. That's upsetting for me as well. Not that it's about my feelings. I just want you to know that I care deeply about you as we chat right now.
Okay, everybody. Sorry about the length of time and how much stalling the simp is actually doing. However, this amount of stalling is also evidence that the feminist movement is technically a male hate movement. Because, historically speaking, hate movements will commit to this level of stalling when they're trying to make a group of people, in this case men, out to be some kind of villains when they really don't have a case. It's a manipulation tactic of trying to outweigh your patience in order to provoke you into doing something that they can literally use against you. So, don't fall for it, okay?
Um, First thing I want to say is I'm really thankful that I have seen you just be super intentional in the lobby with people with your words. You've just been really trying to be an encouragement to others, speaking well to them and of them, and I think that is been really fun to watch you grow in that. And Eddie has said to me that he has seen how you have grown in some of those conversations and things like that, which I think is really, really good and sweet. Um, and so, none of what I uh, need to bring to attention is stuff that it's, man, Matthew, that it's anything like you are um, bad or rejected or um, anything. I think me, John, and just about anybody that I am aware of, they know your intentions are good. You're not desiring to be hurtful. You're not desiring to be anything other than a kind and loving friend and brother. And so I hope um, that you know that I believe that about you. Um,
What was the
if that
point?
wasn't the case, um, then conversations would have been different all the way up till now, including now. But I know, and others know, that you have a desire to connect with people and make them feel welcomed and encouraged. And so I want you to know that I see that. I see that desire with you, and I've seen the ways that you've attempted to live that out. Um, I can, um, as I'm chatting right now with you, what I'm going to do is, what I'm going to do is, I I will speak broadly, but if you want more specifics, just ask, and I can give any specifics that might be helpful for you. I know that for me, sometimes I want broad.
Okay, guys, just want to point out something here for all of you. He said he'll go into more specifics, but you're going to notice when I ask for more specifics, he will refuse to answer the questions. He will. He honest to God will. You will see that.
Like broad understanding, and sometimes I want more specifics. And so, all of this conversation is really meant for you to ultimately just see areas and opportunities to continue to grow. I have them too. John has them too. And part
During
of
the time being with my mother, you mean?
what
During the time being with my mom,
I don't I don't see the connection.
what was happening
I
with my mom?
don't.
He brought us
Right.
at a horrible time.
I, again, as I told you before, I was unaware of that and I did not make that connection. If I was aware of that, then I would have not been I would not have brought up this conversation right now in this season for you. And I am sorry about that. But as you said in your text message last night to me, what's done is done. Like, we've already opened the conversation. So now to not but like I would hope you'd believe about me that if I knew that your mom was having some scary and severe medical issues, that I would not have been bringing this stuff up to you. I was. Now, if you had made me aware of that in the past, like I said last night, I'm really sorry that because I've been racking my brain. Did I remember Matthew talking to me about any of this? And
I made multiple prayer requests that I received connecting that I volunteer with.
To the what?
The connecting that I volunteer with.
But I'm not on the Connect team. So and maybe you said it some place where I was. I honestly, like, all that to say, it was not intentional.
Okay, everybody, something I want to point out here. This simp in question, he's the pastor of an actual church. He is. So he's the pastor that is in charge of a church, or supposed to be in charge. It doesn't matter which way I look at it. The only way how he could not be aware of something like what's going on with the volunteers that are helping him run and operate his church is if he gave all of his authority as a pastor to the feminists that are at his church, to the extent where he's just a figurehead or a spokesperson. He has no real authority at all. He really doesn't. In other words, he's not a real pastor. Maybe he was at some point in time, but not anymore.
I was not aware of it. And if you had informed me of it, or I'd been in some place where you had, I'm sorry if I had forgotten. And since then, I've been praying for you and for your mom, since you brought that up yesterday. So again, I understand that the timing is bad, but at the same time, like you expressed, like, you can't put this back now. We've already started the conversation. And so if you would prefer to press pause on the conversation right now, and we pick this up in a month from now, we can do that. But I'm assuming...
I was told that I shouldn't hold off on it by multiple people. I should get the conversation over with now before rumors spread.
Okay.
And before what spreads?
Rumors about me.
I don't think that would be a risk.
We aren't a community that we literally fight against rumors. And if anyone were starting a rumor about you in our community, and I heard about it, my job, my opportunity is to go and say, hey, that's not okay to say. Now, as a pastor, people will bring concerns to my attention because when...
Okay, guys, something I thought I should debunk here for all of you. There is no real way you can stop rumors. There is not. You can counter rumors with truth. You can sue a person for defamation if the rumors they were trying to spread were false and caused damage to your livelihood. But you cannot just flat out stop them. That will create a direct conflict with the constitutional right known as freedom of speech. It would. Regardless, this is also a means of this is also evidence of how the feminist movement is in fact a male hate movement. Because one of the things that hate movements are historically well known for is to use the manipulation tactic known as giving you false hope so that you can accept whatever tragedy the hate movement has laid out for you, regardless of how tragic it may be. This male hate movement, known as the feminist movement, no different.
When people bring concerns to me, that is not gossip, because gossip is any time you bring somebody into something that they have no ability to affect change. As a pastor, my responsibility is to help affect change, and to walk alongside people, to love people well, to know what's going on in our community. So anything that anybody has shared with me doesn't get repeated. I don't, and if we did pause right now, me and John would not be sharing this widely. I just want you to know that our care is for you, even if right now there is completely understandable reasons why you don't believe that that is true.
All right.
Okay.
Tell me what you're concerned about.
So there has been multiple instances within the last 3 years where you have been talked to by different leaders over physical touch. I've talked to you 3 times over the course of the last 4 years about this.
There's people hugging, touching each other at Rosé Church all the time.
I understand that, Matthew. But there are people who hug one another and give one another high fives, fist bumps, everything like that. But what other people don't regularly have is other individuals coming up to me, sharing that when an individual hugs them or touches them, it makes them uncomfortable.
Can you please define the term uncomfortable? Because I've been holding that for a while now.
That's okay.
I don't initiate hugs anymore. I don't even hug people I don't even know. I make sure it's okay first, but for some reason I'm still doing something wrong.
Matthew, I hear you when you say that, and I know that you've been working on this.
Okay, guys, something else I want to point out here. Notice how when I told him, hey, I always ask first, I make sure it's okay first before I touch anybody. And later you'll see that the pastor fully admits that that's what I've been doing. The reason why this is important is because despite what the feminist movement promotes, legal consent is not whatever a woman says it is based on her feelings at the time. If the woman is of legal age, she is completely sober, and she did not articulate the word no, social cues is not part of the definition, because social cues are different for every single human being on the entire planet. Guess what? By law, that woman did in fact give legal consent. And under no circumstances is she allowed to take it back after giving it for reasons like, oh, I don't want to be caught cheating on my boyfriend or my husband, or I want a quick buck. Yeah. Regardless, in case you guys have been wondering why there's been such a humongous rise here in the West of women, having inappropriate relationships with underage boys, here's your recorded evidence right here. Because as a direct result of the feminist movement, a lot of facilities, not all mind you, but a lot of them, are just straight up not reinforcing what the law says about legal consent when it comes to the women that enter their facilities. And let's face it, if you're not going to reinforce it on those women, what is stopping those women from violating what the law says about legal consent if it's not going to be reinforced on them?
So
3 years ago, I had asked you not to initiate hugs,
I stopped initiating.
and I saw you working towards that. We have also communicated as a blue shirt the importance that we don't touch people when we are blue shirting. And yet I watched you walk up a few weeks ago to a brand new girl and if she was there with her boyfriend, and you put your hands on her, you just touched, not in some sexual way, I'm not assaulting your character, but putting your hand on her shoulder and completely ignoring the boyfriend. And I was watching because I wanted to see how you were interacting, not because I was looking to punish you or get mad at you. I'm not mad at you, but because I want to see how you're doing now. And so Eddie has talked with you about this. And then on Sunday, you walked into the volunteer room and you were doing a great job of being an encourager. And at the same time, you touched 4 different women on the shoulders. And typically, touching women on the shoulders at all is considered an inappropriate gesture.
Touching on the shoulder is an inappropriate gesture now?
Yeah. I mean, John, what's your understanding of touching on the shoulder?
I mean, the issue is one that's just so nebulous, Matthew. It's really difficult to have to say, you know, in all circumstances, in all places, and in all times, this or that or the other thing is or isn't acceptable.
Yeah.
I think the most helpful passage that I can look at and say, you know, with all encouragement for myself in certain areas, is in 1 Corinthians.
Okay. That touching on the shoulder is nebulous now? That. Oh my god, you can't make this stuff up, guys. You really can't. Last time I checked, touching someone on the shoulder was literally just a common way of a casual way of just getting someone's attention. It literally was. That's all it was. Oh my god. Well, regardless, this is also evidence on how the feminist movement is, in fact, the male hate movement. Because just like other hate movements in past history, the feminist movement has no real structure of what's appropriate for what they want. You know, essentially what it is that what's appropriate is going to be whatever a woman says it is at the time. There's no real structure behind it at all. The other thing you should notice is that notice how everything here is completely hearsay. Like it literally is, just 100% completely hearsay. In case you guys don't know, hearsay statements are not eligible in a court of law. And the reason why is because the definition of hearsay is when you're trying to speak for another person on their behalf without having documentational evidence that you have permission to do this. It's literally just forging evidence. And to be honest with you, forging evidence is a very common historical tactic that hate movements have utilized in past history. This male hate movement, known as the feminist movement, is no different, as you can clearly see.
8. And it talks about, in this particular instance, food. You know, whether it's sacrificed to an idol or not, and whether people have it or they don't have it. And there's 2 different brothers that are referred to, people in the church. There's a stronger brother and a weaker brother. And the stronger brother can have whatever food that he wants and doesn't have any impact on his worship. And the weaker brother looks at, you know, the food and the way that it's sacrificed and says, oh, I can't possibly touch that. You know, this isn't dedicated to Jesus. And so they can't handle it.
Yeah.
The issue of personal touch is like the issue of food in this way. It's not the same for everyone. And women...
Do you realize I can't read minds, right?
Yeah, none of us can read minds. And that's why we have to come up with rules and boundaries for all individuals that
Except for women, apparently.
That's not true, Matthew. So women in America, an insane large portion of them have experienced sexual assault, rape, or molestation at some point.
Where did you get that data from?
I mean, we could go and find multiple peer-reviewed research on that. But if not that, most other women experience some version of harassment at some point where men do unwanted physical contact, unwanted physical gesturing.
Are you saying this is kind of biased now?
No. Matthew, I'm saying this because as a man, our job is to be the protector of our sisters. Our job is to be the protector of our sisters. My job is to protect Allie. It is to protect Meredith. It's to protect you as my brother. But our job specifically as men is to protect and be on the lookout and be prioritizing the needs of the women in our midst over even our own desires. Matthew, what John is saying is right. It's not about what is about some arbitrary list. Here are the list of appropriate physical touches, here are the list of inappropriate ones. But just using the example of hugs, it still comes to my attention, even from the people.
Okay, I just want to point out here, guys, that this is bias. Because he's actively allowing women to compare all men to just a 1% of the male population. That is literally the definition of being biased, where you don't judge by content of character, but you judge by groups instead. In this case, you're judging men, like all men, in the same category. Like you are. He's actively comparing all men to rapists. That is literally what being biased is.
That you believe you know, that the people that you know, the people that have been in our community, that it's still brought to my attention the need that they're like, that was too much. That your hugs were too tight, that your hugs were unwanted, that even when you ask permission, and I've seen you do this, where you'll ask permission as you're coming in for the hug.
That's not what happened. I know for a fact I did not do that.
I'm not talking about one in particular instance. I am talking about a pattern. And
So you're saying a poke to the shoulder is inappropriate, approaching is inappropriate, everything is inappropriate.
Matthew.
So there's nothing a man can do.
No, Matthew.
I'm always going to be a villain in some kind just because I was born with a penis.
You are not a villain. And men are not villain. I'm a man, and so is John.
You just made it perfectly clear that all women have been sexually harassed in some shape or form.
Yes, by some man, but not by you, not by John, not necessarily by me. Have there ever been women who I have made feel uncomfortable? Yes.
You see, guys? He openly admits that I did not do this stuff. He openly admits to that. But yet, that does not stop him from comparing me to those men just because the feminists in his church want him to do it. Just like, let's face it, hate movements are historically well known for this. And apparently, this male hate movement, known as the feminist movement, is no different. It really is not.
I actually know that.
Please define the term sexual harassment for me.
I am not accusing you of sexual harassment.
I know you're not accusing me, but you're accusing all men
I am
of sexual harassment. You just said that right now.
No, I didn't.
You said that all women have been sexually harassed of some shape or form. Please define the term sexual harassment to me.
But I did not say by all men.
You said all women have been accused of sexual or had been sexually harassed before. Please define sexual harassment for me right now.
Do you understand that I did not say all men?
I understand you didn't say all women, but you said all women
Yes.
have been raped or sexually harassed before. Please show me the data you have on that.
I can definitely send you
And
information
please
about that.
send me
but
the definition of what sexual harassment is.
Matthew.
I don't want you to lose terms here, Matthew, in terms of what we're.
And see, just like I told you, everybody, they said they'll give me more specifics when asked, but failed to keep that promise. And let's be honest here, making promises you have zero to no intentions on keeping is also a tactic that hate movements are historically well known for. This male hate movement, known as the feminist movement, is no different. It really is not.
What can be helpful for you in this conversation? Because it's something that can be helpful for everyone. I think when we use words like all or every single thing like that, that's not going to be helpful to you worshiping your king. What's going to be helpful to you worshiping your king is know what's right for you.
Oh wait, well, here's what I know is right. I did my fair share of research on this too. The sexual harassment cases, those whole rape cases, that's the 1% of the male population that rapes women. You're comparing that rapes women.
No, I am saying simply that your job, as well as mine, is to demonstrate love to one another. And we see where one another is at and the vulnerabilities that that person might have. You see and you try to care for them.
I like it as an allegation in return.
I am not giving allegations, Matthew.
But you make sure that you see other people to give me allegations.
Well, let me ask a question. Would you ever want one of your sisters to feel uncomfortable?
One of my sisters?
Yeah.
What about one of my fellow men?
Can we talk
sisters,
about your sister though?
anyone?
First?
No, I mean,
Your brothers and your sisters. Would you want any of us to feel uncomfortable?
please define the term uncomfortable, because that's a very broad statement.
Okay.
That they don't want to hug.
And I ask first. I do not initiate hugs at all.
Let's go back one step and say, let's define uncomfortable. Anything unwanted.
Please
Let's
define
say,
unwanted. How am I supposed to know if this is unwanted?
define it for yourself. Why don't you tell me what you think the word unwanted and uncomfortable is for you?
I say if there's something that I don't like,
Yeah.
that I wasn't okay with, I would tell a person. I would not expect them to read my mind like I'm some kind of psychic.
So let's take that one step back. I think you did a good job of defining what uncomfortable is. It's something you don't want. Some of your brothers and your sisters don't have the confidence that you do, Matthew. I don't think everyone who finds themselves in an uncomfortable position feels ready to say to the person that makes them get into that uncomfortable position.
And you expect me to parent them even though I have no legal obligations to do this.
Yeah,
That's not going to happen, and you know it.
but Matthew, do you want
Oh my god! Man, I cannot believe I got these Sims to openly admit they fully expect me to parent full-grown adult women I have no legal obligations to at all. Like, literally 0 to none. Oh my god, I cannot believe this. I cannot believe I got that. Woo! Well, regardless, this is also pretty much evidence that the feminist movement is a male hate movement, no different than every other hate movement in past history. Because what is a very common occurrence with hate movements is that the people who are participating in them, they throw all of their responsibilities, all their personal responsibilities onto these people. In this case, it's men. Just throw all your responsibilities onto men. Just throw all them onto men. When in doubt, blame a man. It doesn't get addressed appropriately. And because of that, it continues to escalate and escalate to the extent where the people who participate in the hate movement, in this case the feminist movement, have been pointing fingers at men to the extent where they have completely deprived themselves of any real mental growth and responsibility and maturity, in fact, to just survive in this world. And unfortunately, the majority of the time, not all the time, but the majority of the time, that's also when people start actively saying, hey, I'm backed into a corner now. We have to start addressing this, regardless of how people might feel about it, because I'm all out of alternatives. I really am. This male hate movement, known as the feminist movement, no different. It really is not.
Here's my question. So, if those weaker brothers and sisters are people that are part of the community, if they're hurting, if they've been hurt in some way, and you have a chance to help them, would you want to help them?
Well, let me give another situation for you. Say I want a chance to help someone.
Say,
You say that I would like a chance to help someone. Well, answer me this. What if a person were to somehow just be walking by a woman? He gets accused of sexual harassment just for being in the same elevator as her. 2 days later, he loses his job and his pension. What if a woman made a false accusation about sexual harassment at a boy's school, and this boy gets put under house arrest?
how is that similar to what we're talking about?
Because this is what I am noticing. I get accused of something, and I'm innocent, and I'm guilty till proven innocent by everybody. Simply because it's a woman making an accusation about me, a man.
I don't think you're hearing the conversation correctly. I don't think that you have a correct understanding of what's happening.
Hey guys, just wanted to point out something here to all of you. I literally, annoyingly, gave them the exact same situation that we are in right now, but in a separate scenario. I literally revealed to these Sims that I know what you're doing. I knew the entire time what you were trying to do here, and it's not going to work. This would have been a very good time for you to cut it before you dig yourself into an even deeper hole. It really would have been. Yeah. But as you can clearly see, it didn't. As you'll notice.
Matthew, what has been happening is a sequence of events where there has been individuals who...
Please give me the statements of these individuals then.
Matthew, I'm not going to name individuals in our conversation.
And I don't know how to correct behavior if I don't know who you're even talking about. I can't even defend myself anymore.
So Matthew, if you'd like, I can talk about more specific about where this can go from here. Okay.
Alright guys, apologies for interrupting so soon again. But notice how I didn't say names. I said statements. And Simp did not give statements. In other words, the simp that is doing this for these feminists, yeah, he basically just revealed that no investigation took place. None. And even if I did ask for names, pretty sure he would have to give it to me because, hey, I have a constitutional right to self-defense. I do. Regardless, this is evidence on how the feminist movement is in fact a male hate movement, no different than every other hate movement in past history. Because what hate movements are very historically well known for is violating a person's constitutional right to due process, be innocent till proven guilty, and to self-defense. As you have just witnessed here. Let's get into it.
So Matthew, my desire is to see you thrive in community. I am not against you because you're a man. I'm not against anybody because of their biology or because of this color of their skin or because of anything. We have the opportunity and the calling, your calling, Matthew, over anything else, is to demonstrate love for God and love for one another. That is there's not like a caveat to it. It is to demonstrate love for God and love for others over yourself, over your own desires. And so let me ask you this question, Matthew. If there was an individual, man or woman, who received an unwanted hug, just as an example, by you, would that appall you? Would you be like, oh man, I only want to hug you if you want to be hugged? Because I assume that about you.
Hey guys, notice how no matter how many times I debunk that allegation, and no matter how many times I get him to admit that I debunk it, no matter how many times, he still hits me with the exact same allegation over and over again. This is also evidence that this feminist movement known is just a male hate movement. Because what hate movements are historically well known for is trying to pressure someone into a false confession, which is what's being done here. He's literally just trying to pressure me into a false confession, knowing that it's not going to work. It's not. I'm not going to do it.
You only want to hug people that want a hug from you. You're not looking to hug people to force a hug on people. Is that fair to say?
I never forced anything on anybody.
Again,
you know this.
That's not what I'm saying. Matthew, I need you to listen exactly what I'm saying right now. What I'm saying is I never believe that your desire is that if somebody told you that you gave them an unwanted hug, I assume about you that you would not want to give somebody that does not want a hug.
But I don't know that because I can't read a person's mind, can I?
I don't think anyone's asking you to do that.
It sounds like you are.
How?
Simple. There are people come up to me and hug me all the time. I don't initiate hugs. I ask first beforehand, and somehow I'm still doing the unwanted touching. How the bloody hell is this not you accusing me of doing unwanted touching because I'm a man?
Matthew, years ago, and I am sorry if this hasn't been followed up with you well by me and with others. My understanding is that Eddie has been doing a great job of following up with you on this. You're using a couple different phrases at this point. You said that you don't initiate, or you're not using the word initiate. What's the word you're using? You don't. What's the first word? I want to make sure I'm using your language.
I'm not initiating hugs.
Okay,
I always ask first beforehand.
Okay, so.
And I only do it with people I know for sure. I don't do it with strangers anymore.
So you are saying that you don't initiate hugs, but you do ask before you hug. So I understand.
Only with people I know. I already know.
I totally hear you on that, and I commend you that that's been your approach. What we are talking about right now is that you are still initiating a hug or physical contact if you ask permission, because you went out and you stuck your hand out. If somebody comes up,
shaking a hand with a person is now inappropriate.
Touching them on their shoulders can be inappropriate.
So that's inappropriate now.
Matthew, that's not what happened on Sunday. You were holding women by the shoulder for multiple seconds.
Holding women by the shoulder? I never hold any woman by the shoulder, Danny. You know that's for a fact.
Matthew, I don't know that.
I was with Anisette the entire time and with her mom.
Okay, Matthew, I'm only going to give you specific examples if you find them helpful. But if I give you a specific example and then your only inclination is to say that didn't happen, then specific examples are not going to be helpful.
Give me a specific example then.
I just did, Matthew. Before Sully's family got there, you came into the volunteer room to encourage and to get a slice of pizza. And while you were there, you touched 3 women on the shoulder. 4 women on the shoulder.
Touching women on shoulder now is...
Okay, everybody. Someone want to point out here. Notice he first says 3 women and 4 women. Which is it? Yeah, this is also evidence on how this feminist movement is a male hate movement. Because one thing that's very historically common with hate movements is You lie about a particular group of people, in this case, it's men, so much, it eventually gets to the point where you can't keep track of it. You really can't keep track of the lies anymore. Also, notice how the moment I reveal to him, I have witnesses who can verify me that that's not true. He immediately adjusts his statement, changes it to get around that. He literally does. He has literally declared me guilt. The feminists at his church have literally declared me guilty till proven innocent, and they're using this pastor to do that. They really are.
Inappropriate? When was that a thing?
It becomes a thing when there is a pattern of behavior that is making individuals feel uncomfortable.
So just any.
If I would, I'll
Just
say
because
this way,
someone's a
if there is
tangent.
any man who would have came to the volunteer room and done that, I would have been I would have been paying attention to that, because typically touching on the shoulders, touching on different areas of the body.
So why don't I just stick with a rule where I'm supposed to keep everyone at 6 feet away from me? Now is that what you want me to do?
Matthew. So if you want to talk about what is the next steps, we can do that. But what's hard, Matthew, is even right now, it's clear that we don't have a mutual understanding of any of this, and that's hard. So we can keep talking about that if you want. We can talk about what the next steps look like. But I can tell you, Matthew, that, and the one that I can get more specific on, is it's not just your physical touch, it's also been your words that you have used. And so now I'm going to share another part, and I will give names here, and the only reason is because I have gotten permission. This is not something I solicited. I had never even heard about this before, but I got a phone call last night at 11 o'clock at night from the Harknesses, letting me know that they have tried over and over again in your group of community.
I was visiting them last night.
And during community group, they said that they have tried over and over again in your community group to help guide you away from certain topics, to help guide you to what's appropriate to discuss. But instead, you have continued on the same topic, sometimes talking right over them. And so they don't know how to guide you. And so what they have also asked as part of this is that we can find you a community group that there are individuals who are going to help guide you. And I want you to know that me and Allie are already extending an invite for you to join our group on Sunday mornings. John and Meredith are inviting you into their group that happens on Thursday evenings. You are wanted, Matthew.
Okay, notice how this person just admitted he wanted to give me a chaperone, essentially, even though I'm a full-grown adult in the eyes of the state. Even though he has no legal leverage here. Lika says he wants to give me a chaperone. Wow. Yeah, this is also evidence of how the feminist movement is in fact a male hate movement. Because essentially, you need things about hate movements is that they need their cultural scapegoat, in this case, men, literally at arm's reach at all times. If men, like myself, if we opt out, if we leave, well, guess what? Funny thing about pointing fingers at men, it only really works if the man is there. If the man is not there, guess what? Distance means exposure, which means accountability. That's the reason why so many feminists are getting infuriated at the idea of MGTOW or passport bros. It literally is.
But what you have done, even in that community group, is you had made individuals feel uncomfortable, unsafe, and this isn't from me. This is from my conversation that I got last night right before I fell asleep from John and Elizabeth. And the only reason they called me is because you included John into a group chat, and then you came over to their house last night.
So I mean, I'm being kicked out of a community group right now.
And
community group means all help built.
And I am inviting you into mine. The difference is that Sully knew how to work to guide you in conversations. John and Elizabeth do not know how. They don't have the ability to do that, according to them. I am telling you that John and Meredith do, and me and Allie do, and we would love for you to join our groups. Okay? And I know that one's hard to hear.
Being attacked left and right now because I'm a boy.
It's not because you're a boy, Matthew. I love you. John loves you. You are our brother. I don't attack you because you're a boy. Why would John attack you because you're a boy? John Harkness.
At first, he thought he was helping me out. Now I'm being banned from this community group that me and Sully helped build. That community was built by me, Sully, and Lauren, and now I'm being banned by someone I actually helped build.
That community group was started by the Harknesses, and when I asked them, "Hey, can you two start a community group?" They invited all the same people that were in your previous.
Okay, guys, someone want to point out here, what the pastor is saying here is a lie. It is. And I know this because that particular Bible study group, yeah, I did help build it during the actual COVID pandemic. I did. Because me and our group of friends, the ones that were just mentioned there, we didn't want to feel isolated. Then after the COVID pandemic ended, hey, it ended up being converted into a part of that church. Yeah, and that's what happened. Yeah, it wasn't just started by the church, it was started by me and a group of friends during the COVID pandemic. But regardless, the feminist movement decided they wanted to take it, and they did.
In the Bible study that you guys are a part of that was not officially something for Mosaic. So, and Matthew, I hate this because it's clear that that right now, you don't seem to have any willingness to see that your actions have an effect on other people. That last night you were talking about, all they said was you were talking about things that were inappropriately medical with an 8-year-old child in her room. I don't know what it was. I wasn't in the room. And just so you know, John and Elizabeth asked me to have this part of the conversation with you. But
okay, everybody, something else I want to point out here. Who is this supposed child? If what they're saying was actually true, I would have been in custody by now. Ellie would have been. And I'm not. This happened like a while ago. Also, last time I checked, that Bible study that I literally helped build during the COVID pandemic, when I was a part of it, even to that exact day where I had my red pill moment, nobody had a child. No one did. Children don't just pop out of thin air. Oh boy. Anyways, that's all I got time for today, guys. If you want to watch the rest of it, it's covered in a video called My True Red Pill Moment. But I want to finish this off by saying, the reason why I call this my True Red Pill Moment, well, I was part of that church since 2016 to 2024. I volunteered more hours at all 3 campuses than I can even count. I really did. I gave 2 members of that church a free place of sanctuary during the COVID pandemic. When another 2 of those members of that church got married, I volunteered bone-breaking manual labor, moving their stuff into their new home. I did. And yet, every single woman at a church community that massive made the unanimous decision that this wasn't good enough. Well, I hate to break this to you ladies, but if that's not good enough, then nothing is. Literally nothing. This is not sexist. This is just the fact that the expectations you have placed on men are so high to the point where there's not a human being on the entire planet who can fulfill these expectations. Not even a man who makes six figures can have these expectations in his budget. At the very least, in order to fulfill expectations like this, you have to, at bare minimum, make, I don't know, like 30 figures or 40 figures. I'm pretty sure there's not a human being on the planet who has that in their budget. I am actually pretty certain. Anyways, that's all we got.